Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I haven't posted in a while and there's a very good reason for that, because we've been out on road trips and there have been a few things going on which have been giving me a bit of a headache. Now the first thing that's given me a headache is that compressor. Now I believe that this is an Ingersoll Rand compressor. Should have the plate down there, but it's gone. It's got a plate for whoever makes the trailer, a chassis unit down there, which is Meredith and Aya, or however it's called. The problem that we have is the starter motor doesn't want to start the engine. So I have removed the starter motor. I'm not quite sure how well you can see down in there, probably not too well. But what I've done is I've marked the teeth on the flywheel, so there's a yellow mark there, and white mark there, and white mark there. So what I've done is I've turned the engine over by hand, and then every 5 teeth I've marked it with a piece of chalk. So the white chalk is on the 5th tooth, and the yellow chalk is number 1 tooth. So gone right round a revolution, counted the teeth on the flywheel, and we've spoken to a Kubota engine specialist because this is the Kubota D11, so it says D1105 there, so it's the 5 series. Some numbers on the side there, don't know what they mean, but yeah, so we thought the starter motor was the wrong one, and it struggles to turn the engine over, constantly like kicks out a mesh all the time. So we've taken it off, we've counted the ring gear, we've spoken to a parts company that deal in Kubotas, and they have said that the 106 teeth on the ring gear are correct for the 9 teeth on the pinion. So what we've done is we have counted the teeth on the pinion, so mark the shaft there, number 1, going round, 9 teeth on the pinion, that's fine. But if you look at here, I don't know how well you can see it on camera, you can see that it's not actually meshing on the proper part of the tooth, it's driving on the front face of every gear on the pinion, and it's driving on the front face of the ring gear too, so it's not actually going into mesh. So I think if it's not going into mesh, then it's not getting full power from the solenoid, and that's why it's very slow cranking and keeps jumping off. But the problem is that's a 9 pinion gear. Yeah, it's meant to have a 9 pinion gear. We've had a look and found on the internet they do a different type of starter where it doesn't have this nose cone and pinion shaft support, and that is what is on there. So we're hoping that the starter motor off of that will be the same size as this and be 9 teeth. Then we can try that on this compressor and see if that makes it any better, because at the moment this aftermarket one isn't working. Now that was on it when we bought it, and a brand new one is £298 plus the VAT. That comes in at like 358 or something like that. It's absolutely stupid. So I need to get it running now to make sure that the engine runs okay, because there's no water in the engine. I haven't put anything in to see why there's no water in. Maybe it's just been drained down by the previous owner or whatever. I was assured by these people that it run okay, there was no problems with it. It's just they upgraded to a different, bigger one for their needs, but it doesn't, the starter doesn't engage, so that's like that. We did have it running, because what we did, we put 24 volt to the starter to get it to fire up, and when I pushed the button on it for air, it stalled the engine. So in the control panel down here it says push that button there for air, and as soon as I pushed that, it stalled the engine. Now, I don't know anything about Hydrovane compressors, nothing at all, so if anyone knows how they work or can give me some advice, that would be super diddly duper, because I have not got a clue what works on what. I have not got a clue what them relays are for. I'm guessing they're all safety relays to switch the engine off if you lose oil pressure, if it overheats, if something goes wrong with the air supply for whatever reason. But I don't know, I'm just guessing, I don't have a book on it. So that's the problem we've had with that. Big headache, very frustrating. It's taken over a week to have time to get started off and count the ring gear, etc. Pain in the bum. In good news though, my trailer's here. Yep, we have been and we have collected my tipping trailer. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, there are loads of videos of me getting this back to this condition, because it was in a bit of a sorry state when I first bought it. And there's one more job left to do to make it really usable, and that is under there. Them is for the cylinder. The cutting off and moving forwards a bit to let the bed come right down and actually sit on the chassis, hence the bit of wood, because the cylinder's too long. Now, you can't buy a tipping cylinder the correct length anymore, because that would have been imperial, and now everything's metric, so the cylinder's a fraction too long. So cutting them ears off, moving them forwards a little bit will correct the problem, and then I can have a look at doing something without brakes. So really pleased that's here now. That'll go behind Major again. You can use that for logging. Now back to the road trips. Yes, we've had 2 road trips this week. We have bought a front linkage for the John Deere 6610. Apparently that's to put the drawbar on, but yeah, don't know. Not convinced on that. We're not convinced on that at all. But I asked on Facebook, on one of the John Deere groups, if a linkage off of a, I think it's a 155, 6R155, was the same width as a 6610 to make fit. And somebody goes, I got a linkage up fit 6610. Brilliant. How much do you want for it? Strong money, but it does come with the isolator valves, all the pipe work, top link, spools to go on the front, all the fittings to go on the back, steel pipes to make it all nice and tidy. Brilliant. Yep, I'll pay the money to have it. That'll do. Anyway, yeah, none of the bolt holes line up on the chassis rails. The chassis rails are the right width, but none of these bolt holes line up, so I'm aiming, if I can, to use that one and drill 2 new holes here, and we can get that installed. We need to make the pipes from the back to the front longer, just because it's got 2 more cylinders and a bigger frame, but it should be quite an easy conversion to do. On the downside though, it's on Cat 2 link arms, hook ends, and it's only rated to 2,100 kilos, so yeah, not ideal considering I paid strong money for it, but I only want it to carry a weight block, because it is amazing how much difference having half a ton or a ton of weight on the front of the tractor makes going up and down hills, and especially going uphill. Carrying an extra ton when you don't need to really slows you down. So that's the front linkage. The second road trip was, you'll be amazed when you see this, you really will. Amazed. Another trailer. Yes, people, I've collected my trailer, and Roberty has decided he wants to buy a trailer for himself. But it's not just a normal trailer, as you can see here. It is a high tip trailer, so that lifts up, and it also goes back as it lifts. So instead of tipping literally here, it tips up and back here somewhere. So I'm guessing it wouldn't be far off actually being able to tip into the back of the pickup. That's what I'm thinking. 6 stud wheels, tyres hole there. Look at this, boys and girls. Split rimmy stuffy. Yeah, split rim. Ooh. Now how many people are excited to see a tyre change video on a split rim? Never done one before. I don't think Roberty has either. But yeah, it's on split rims. Yeah, it looks alright. I think it looks a bit like a railway carriage, but railway truck even, you know. But yeah, tyres are good condition. They've got some cracking on. Are they 8.25 by 16? That is a very unusual size. So if anyone's come across that size, 8.25 by 16, let us know in the comments, because that'd be good to know. And if anyone's used one of these before, let us know in the comments if they're any good. So yeah, it's had extensions put on the side for some reason, not quite sure why. It's had them put on. If we climb up, ooh, I was going to stand on the wheel, but it's not on the ground, so that's not good. 1 second while I climb up. I've not seen inside it myself yet, to be fair. Robertie's looked. Oh, right, okay. It's got an inspection hole on that side, which is good. Oh, it's got the old chain that goes across to stop the side spraying out when you put load in it. We won't be using that though. It's had a bit of tin in the middle of the floor, and it's got some stone chippings in it and a brick. Did not know that was all in there. So, what do you think of the tow hitch? What's going on with that? What do you reckon that would have been pulled by to have that modification done to it? Because I've never seen anything like that. I don't know what you'd have that low to have that done to it. Got the changeover valve for the high tip and that. Had new pipe put on it. We've been assured that all hydraulics are perfectly serviceable, but we bought it blind and haven't seen it working, so I have no idea there. But if anyone can help me with the Hydrovane compressor, knows anything about what makes the pressure kick in and out when you need it for demand, and then switch the pressure off so that the engine doesn't slow down, please let me know in the comments, because I've got no experience with Hydrovanes at all, and I don't want to spend on a starter motor if the rest of the compressor doesn't work properly. And I don't want to buy a starter motor and then find the rest of the compressor doesn't work, because I might just be better with it cutting my losses. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. And I really need help with this one. I really do, because I know nothing about them. Thanks for watching.